Hello everybody, welcome back to Waffles RC. It has been an interesting week for me. Start things off with some hoses for my water heater gave up. Filled my lines with a bunch of rubber, but got that fixed. Then the dishwasher went out. Then, as you can see right here, somebody tried to break into my shop. So if you don't all know, which I've never really said it very much, but I am not a full-time YouTuber. I still have a 9-to-5 job. So them breaking into my shop kinda sucks. Costs a lot of money to fix that. But you are not here for my woes. You are here for this thing. So, going to clear our head by getting back on this thing. Gonna try and get this Zacklift finished up, get everything on it that it needs, get the boxes. Just gonna try and get this thing done. So first thing that I'm gonna do is finish off the back half or the back portion of this so that the whole Zacklift itself will be all done, and then we'll move on to other stuff. All right, as you can see, created a rear frame, cut a section out for the boom, so now it can go right in here. Now I forgot to start filming, but I'm gonna start putting some skins on this thing, try to make it look like the actual Zacklift, essentially. That's the goal. So let's get on a time lapse and see what this thing comes out looking like. That took some work, but here we have it. Just an enclosed box. Still have a lot of cutting to do to, make room for the boom and, other important things that go along with this. Got the bend in it, just like the real Zacklift. So now I have to spend probably the next hour or so spot welding all of this, then grinding it, then cutting it. So for me, it's going to be about an hour, maybe more. For you, it'll be right now. And there we are. All the sheet metal bent, as good as can possibly be done with these tools. Got the boom in there. You know what, instead of doing that, I'll just put a picture of it up right here, and then you guys can compare, because this isn't working very well. So I cut the reliefs in. This is not finished. I still have a lot of stuff to do to clean everything up. But what I'm going to do next is start working on the boom here, finishing the welds, put a gusset right in here, finish these welds. There's just a lot of welding to do, and it's all sheet metal. I don't know if I've told you guys, but I hate very much welding sheet metal, but it's the easiest thing to get this thing done. I'm very happy with how it's turning out. So now let's get to work on this boom. Need to get the wheel lift part, the rotating part on there. Let's just start working on the boom. I don't know why I keep messing around. Get to work. All right, got it all cleaned up. Got the gusset in there. Put this on there to cover the servo so that way it doesn't look as funky. It's still going to stick out here, but you can only do what you can do. This is not perfect. These welds are not perfect, but you know what? They're mine, and they're going to hold. So they don't look horrible, they just don't look great. So the next thing that I'm going to do with the boom here, what is the next thing I'm going to do with the boom? I forgot. Oh. So the next thing I'm going to do here with the boom, it's hot. I have to take a little bit of creative license because this is an RC, so I can't do it exactly like the Zacklift, but I'm going to add some winches. How strong these are, I have no idea. Honestly, just going for looks with these. I'm going to make a little plate, somehow get them on here, get some runs for them. I don't know, I'm going to figure it out as I go. So the reason why I'm skipping over a lot of the work is because honestly, it's just a lot of spot welding and grinding. And basically it just looks like this. And that right there isn't exactly riveting when it comes to watching a YouTube video. So I kind of just skip over it and show you the end results. Try to do it step by step, of course, so that way you have some idea of what I'm doing. But yeah, that's why I do that. So now we'll get to adding some winches and see what comes of it. All right, guys, got the boom on. Just took some nuts, drilled out the threads so that way it'd be smooth. And I have the 2 winches. Mounted this one above the other one, so one will go into one side. Still have to do some hooks down here. Also did the wheel lift. You know, just kept busy, basically. That's like that. So now one of the last things I'm going to do tonight is the down mud flaps, as you saw in that picture. But I guess they're more fenders, so just going to put a couple of those on real quick. Then we should be done for the night. There we are. We have most of a Zacklift. That obviously goes down more because these are extended out a bit. As you can see, put the, I guess, mud flaps. I might make them shorter, but just trying to make it look like the actual Zacklift. Now that this is in here, it actually doesn't bother me all that much. So that can still go lower. Then we have our winches and what looks like our toolboxes. So back here are these outriggers that I put in. Basically, I'm going to make them very simple. They won't be powered, but this fits inside there. It'll slide up, drill some holes, 2 holes to be exact, but 1 in here. 1 hole through here is up, then drop it down. The other hole lines right up. Bam, outriggers. Still have to make some for the front, but I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have my fancy lighting rig right there. And it's dark out. So once again, the older generation knows street lights are on, I gotta go in. Still have a lot of finalization to do to this and the truck. Truck still has to come apart and get fully welded, but the Zacklift itself is still, the whole goal of this is it's removable. and all of its power and everything will be under there. But there you go. The goal again is going to be exactly like the Zacklift, to be able to just park this thing, drive the truck out, and drive the truck back in, put the legs up, bam, we're off on the road or trail or wherever we are. Actually, I just had a better idea than what I'm doing right now. So this is very long compared to what the actual Zacklift is. They have some of them that have a cabinet right here. So I think I'm going to cut this out, make cabinets, the tall cabinets on both sides, and that is where I'll be able to put the receiver and all the electrical, battery, all that stuff is in those two compartments. So I think that's going to be the plan, because I was looking at the pictures, which I'll put right here. You can see that front cabinet right here. So I think that'll look a bit more proportional if I do it that way. Alright guys, I couldn't leave you off with where this thing was, because it was, honestly, it was bugging me. So I'm going to change it so that way it looks a little bit better. I'll show you what I'm going to do. So as you see, I've drawn a line on both sides. Basically, I'm going to cut this section out, cut that piece of metal, and just make a square box. And then eventually I'll make doors that come out so that way I can access battery, receiver, wires, connectors, all that stuff. But first, we gotta cut it and then make a box of some sort. So as you see, I have cut a section out. I have also made these plates, and as you can see, there's holes here for this, you know, fun little boom thing. That's the top. That's the, I guess, the further back one right here. And this one goes right here. And then we'll figure out doors later, but for now, we can make a box. And there we have it, as you saw in the time lapse, a box. So the plan is to put doors on both sides to make it look just like, I guess, the fully kitted out Zacklift with the storage box. Still have a lot of work to do in here, and as you can see, I can still get to that bolt for maintenance. So if there's one thing that you can take away from any of my videos, when it comes to building these RCs from scratch, especially very complicated ones like this, definitely you want to keep in your head at all times maintenance, because stuff's gonna break. So you still need to be able to take everything apart. So don't, like with this box, I don't want to just close it off or close off the boom bolt, because then how can I ever get to it? So be sure when you're making these that you can access everything that needs to be accessed. This is no exception. So under here, this is going to stay mostly empty, so that way I can get to the bolts to take the rams off if I need to replace them, or if they quit working, something along that nature. Maintenance, big key. My dogs are having a field day. Let's get the truck up here, see what all this looks like together. That'll shut my dogs up, or not. Yep, I like that a whole lot better. So that's 40 pounds. No batteries, no electronics, nothing. Just the Zacklift, the frame, and the body. That's all we got so far. So, thank you for tuning in. If you made it this far, thank you very much. You know how much this thing weighs now. I forgot to weigh the Zacklift by itself. Yeah, we can estimate. We'll do it later because that's not done getting outfitted either. Thank you all very much for subscribing, for liking, sharing. Everything that you guys do helps this channel more than you actually know. So thank you all very much. We will see you next week where we keep making things happen on this thing.